All right, let's build a practical playbook for one of the most common and most critical situations you face at the pharmacy counter: pediatric dehydration. We're going to walk through a framework that helps you assess, advise, and act with total confidence when a worried parent comes to you for help. Let's dive in.
You know this question. You can hear the urgency in their voice, right? A concerned caregiver is standing right in front of you and they're looking for an immediate, trustworthy answer. Our playbook starts right here, at this very moment, turning that worry into a clear, actionable plan.
Now, before we jump into the what to do, it is so important to understand the why. Because really effective counseling starts with this one simple fact: a child's body is just built differently. Their fluid balance is, well, it's on a knife's edge. And here's exactly what that means. Get this. In a newborn, a whopping 75 to 80% of their entire body is water. I mean, think about that. That incredibly high number means that even what seems like a small fluid loss can have a massive and super rapid impact. Now, compare that to an adult where our body water percentage drops all the way down to just 55 to 60%. That huge difference is exactly why we have a much bigger buffer, a larger reserve to handle being sick. So here's the bottom line. It's not just that kids have more water in their bodies. It's that combined with a different electrolyte balance, it makes them way more likely to get dehydrated, and to get dehydrated fast. This is probably the single most important concept to have in your head when that parent walks up. Okay, so with that science in our back pocket, how do you actually figure out what's going on quickly? We're going to use a simple 3-step framework. Just think of it as your mental checklist to guide the conversation and pull out the info you really need. It's super straightforward. First, you take a quick history. Second, you coach the caregiver on the physical signs they need to look for at home. And third, you put all that together to help them figure out just how severe this is. Let's break each of those down. Step 1 is all about you playing detective. You've got to ask the right questions. How long has this been going on? How often are they actually vomiting or having diarrhea? Are they keeping anything down at all? And probably the most important question of all, what's their urine output like? A drop in the number of wet diapers is one of the very first and most reliable signs a parent can track. Now for step 2, where you empower the parent to be your eyes and ears at home. You need to coach them on exactly what to look for. Are there tears when the baby cries? Is their mouth sticky or dry? And what about their overall behavior? Are they still a little playful, or are they getting really irritable or even listless? And this is how it all clicks together in step 3, helping you sort through what the parent is telling you. If it's mild, you're going to hear about fewer wet diapers. If it's moderate, they'll probably mention that dry mouth and the child being listless. But if you start hearing words like lethargic, no tears at all, and no urine for hours, well, that's your signal for severe dehydration. So once you've figured out the situation is in that mild to moderate zone, you pivot right into the solution. And here the evidence is just crystal clear. Oral rehydration therapy, or ORT, is the absolute gold standard. It should be your #1 recommendation. And hey, this isn't just a good idea, it's the universal recommendation. We're talking global health authorities, from the American Academy of Pediatrics all the way to the World Health Organization. They all say the same thing: ORT is the first-line treatment. That fact alone gives your counsel so much authority. So what does this protocol actually look like? What do you tell the parent to do? Well, it's a 2-phase thing. First up is rehydration, replacing what's been lost. For mild to moderate cases, you'll tell the caregiver to give about 50 milliliters per kilogram of their child's weight, and to do that over a 4-hour period. After those 4 hours, they reassess, and then you move on to maintenance. And this is going to be the very next question, right? They see all those boxes and bottles on your shelves, and they want to know, which one is the right one for my kid? And this is really where your expertise shines. Those commercial products like Pedialyte or Hydrolyte are specifically engineered for this. The magic is in their perfect balance of electrolytes, like sodium and potassium, plus dextrose to help the body absorb it all. They are designed to be way, way more effective than just plain water. Ah, yes, the big roadblock. A parent will very logically say, how am I supposed to give them something to drink if they just throw everything up? It's a totally valid point, and it can sink the whole plan if you don't address it head on. Luckily, the evidence gives us a clear game plan here. A single dose of an oral antiemetic like ondansetron can work wonders. You tell the parent to give the dose, wait about 15 to 30 minutes for it to kick in, and then start the ORT. And the key is small, frequent amounts. I'm talking a teaspoon every few minutes. That's how you improve tolerance. Oh, you are absolutely going to get this question. So many people reach for what they have at home, thinking any fluid has got to be better than no fluid. But as you know, the high sugar content in these drinks can actually pull more water into the gut and make diarrhea worse. Now, there is a little bit of nuance here that's good to know. There was a study that found for mild dehydration, half-strength apple juice was actually just as effective as an ORS. But, and this is a huge but, for anything moderate or more severe, a balanced ORS is still the undisputed champion. Making that distinction is so important in your counseling. And that brings us to the most critical part of this entire playbook. Your most important role is being a safety net, knowing when this is no longer something to be managed at home and when it requires immediate medical care. These are the absolute non-negotiable red flags. If you hear any descriptions that sound like severe dehydration, lethargy, sunken eyes, no urine output for many hours, or signs of shock like cold skin or a racing pulse, your only advice is to send them to the emergency room right now. And don't forget, even if a child just isn't getting better with your ORT plan, that's another clear signal to escalate care. So what's the big takeaway here? Your structured advice does so much more than just sell a product. It takes a parent's fear and turns it into an empowered action plan. So the next time that worried caregiver walks up to your counter, the real question isn't just what should they buy? It's how can I empower them to keep their child safe? And this playbook is your answer.